Hey guys, Caroline here. I wanted to jump on today and do a training on parental burnout. The timing is perfect because I've been sort of experiencing this myself, or at least I'm getting closer to it. And so I thought it would be great timing to teach this because either many of us are in the thick of it, parental burnout, or we're approaching it. And so being able to recognize this before it comes on full force and regroup, take care of ourselves, analyze our environment, the demands, our child's needs, our own needs is all critical to be able to manage this because parenting is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So today I wanted to talk about how parental burnout can affect our confidence and sense of capacity as parents. For myself this past week, I have not been able to post much. And honestly, I needed to take a step back from posting content on our page just because I needed to, again, focus on my own self care and regulation so that I can be more present for my family and my kids, as well as the clients and families I work with. So, confidence and capacity, a lot of it comes down to our perception, our decisions, our choice, how we show up to the matter, and not necessarily the crisis or the challenge in front of us. So a lot of times I see posts such as, I'm dealing with this with my kid. How do I get them to do chores? How do I get them to listen? Or my kids are fighting. And all of that, I get it. I deal with the same thing with my family and families I work with. So these are all valid challenges that we deal with. And at the same time, when we're dealing with them in the moment or as they come, we're already late to the game. So a lot of what I teach and also what I do for my own family is look for ways, look for the patterns so that you can deal with these challenges out of the moment. Because a lot of it is not dealing with the crisis itself. When we're in crisis mode, we're in fight or flight. We are under stress. And the way we manage that is sure, we may be taking action, but they may not be the most effective or efficient action. So, what does that look like for you guys? Are you dealing with the uh, lack of routine during summer, which I know many of us can kind of get into that rut? Summertime is so nice to be able to not have the pressure of waking up early for school every day or not having to rush to all the activities that we may be a part of during the school year. And yet, we all need a level of balance. We all, our bodies, our brains needs homeostasis, which means equilibrium. Too much of one thing is not good. The other extreme of um, that lack of routine is too much routine, too many activities, too much rigidity, and so that could create stress as well. So I want you to think of where you are right now, what challenges you're dealing with, and where you are in the moment as far as your own capacity, your own sense of confidence. Because when you lack those two things, it really carries over to how you manage challenges and how you engage and communicate with your child. So you might be um, showing up with self doubt, or maybe you feel unsupported, or there's so much chronic stress that you are maybe very short with your child, you're not very playful, more rigid. We kind of tend to swing from one extreme to the other when things feel out of control. We get very rigid um, and inflexible. So we may try to coerce or control our child or force compliance. On the other extreme, we may get so fed up that we just throw our hands up and say whatever and back off, maybe stick our head in the sand and become inconsistent with the supports or routines that we know is needed. And so those two extremes can really be self-sabotage for not only yourself, but your child, your family. So I want to just keep it very simple today and just think of two ways you can approach this. Well, first is your mindset. How are you approaching this? Are you looking at it as just a problem, or are you taking a step back, zooming out, and say, "Hey, how can I connect with my child, create a sense of safety emotionally for myself and my child, and for our home?" For OTs, what I love is we look at three things. We analyze the environment, the task or demand, and then the person, so the child, in that order. So when our child is displaying a behavior that is ineffective or that we don't like. Maybe it's harmful, maybe it's aggression, maybe it's defiance, resistance. We don't approach the child first. We don't try to change the child. We change the environment first. And part of that environment is you as the parent. You're included in that category. So how are you, for example, placing a command or demand on your child? How are you approaching your child, period? With stress? Is your body language showing a disconnect, a sense of, are you already prepared to maybe dealing with some backlash? Because that reads through your body language and your facial expression. So again, going back to the strategies here, keeping it very simple today, two things I want you guys to try, and it may sound you may brush it off and say, yeah, whatever, that's obvious. I've done that before, it didn't work. But the point is consistency and also um, being openness and willing to try this more than a couple days, even more than a week, because just like anything, what we do, action wise, has the opportunity to become a habit, which means we're training our brain a certain way. For example, you drive every day to work, and so now you're on autopilot when you drive because it's become automated. So the two things I was going to suggest are uh, a bottom-up approach. Go take a walk outside if you can. This is something that affects your body first. You're giving your body sensory input, the rhythmic proprioceptive input, which means to your joints and muscles as you walk. You're moving your both sides of your body in a very rhythmic way. And think about how often we need that when we're sitting. Let's say right now I'm sitting in a chair for a while. I'm not really engaging my body. That affects your brain. Your brain needs a certain level of input to regulate itself. If there's too much or not enough movement, you're going to seek it one way or another. Um, think of our children who have to sit in their chairs for much longer than their body is capable of. They're probably sliding out of the chair, fidgeting with pencils, maybe tapping their feet. So same with you. Build in some type of rhythmic organizing sensory input through an activity such as walking. Many of us can get up and do that and have access to that. Also, doing it outside is very powerful. There's so much research that just shows the effect of green time, so nature. And think about just the soft signs of nature versus the hard signs of, for example, a screen. I might go to find an email and all of a sudden notifications pop up here, there. Oh, I forgot to respond to this email. Oh, I need to go look this up. And then the next thing you know, you are 2 hours later, not even sure how you just went down this rabbit hole. But when you're outside, the soft signs of nature is really affects your brain differently. Think about the clouds drifting slowly, or even the muted colors of the blue sky, the variations in the colors of the grass, trees, the greens there. It affects your brain in a way that's very calming and regulating. And same with your child. If you can even incorporate them on a walk, this is now an extra layer of connection here. So again, this is a very simple activity. It's a bottom-up approach. You're giving input to your body, but it also affects your emotions and your mental health when you can do this regularly. And also think about the cardiovascular effect. When you are regulating your breathing, your heart rate, this also gives you the benefit of physical health and mental health also. And then the other strategy, again, I'm keeping it very simple today because I don't need to bombard you with strategies here. But also, this is a top-down approach now. This is just a brain dump, which many of you guys may have done before. But again, I'm encouraging you guys to try this for more than a day, a couple weeks maybe. And this is something that can carry over to teaching and modeling for your child too. So at the beginning of the week, doing a brain dump, just 10 to 15 minutes of writing down everything you need to do. And I'm capping this off at 10 or 15 minutes because we can very easily get carried away and also get overwhelmed. So when you can limit it to just maybe 10, 15 minutes, you can really get on paper, make it concrete, externalize the things that float around in your head that can be overwhelming. And then spend a few minutes crossing out what you don't need it, what's not a priority, and categorizing it into three categories. The first is urgent. The second is something that you'd like to do, but not necessarily have to do just yet. And the third is something that you can either delegate or cross off entirely. It's just not necessary, or put off for a later date, maybe the next week or so. And by doing that, you're organizing and letting your brain know what is urgent, what is a priority, and you can better focus. A lot of times, our stress comes from feeling out of control, and this will give you a sense of control. For myself, I narrow it down even further to just the top three things I want to do today. And that hones in my attention and intention for that day. So that's a way of decreasing overwhelm and also focusing your intention on 1 to 2 things. When we do that, we conserve our mental energy and our physical energy. And doing this at the beginning of the week gives you an outlook on what to anticipate for the week. And then throughout the week, each day, you can revisit that list and maybe just take 5 minutes to do so. And having that rhythm of okay, here's what I need to do, and here's what is a priority for that day. Write it out, put it on your refrigerator on a dry erase board, check mark it off as you go. And when you model this to your child, you are modeling executive functioning skills here. So, organization, time management, being able to uh, self-assess. That's called metacognition. How am I doing with my goals? Where am I at? What do I need to adapt? This sounds like a very simple strategy here, but the carryover can make a big impact for your child because uh, ideally, this is a skill that they can need to learn for life itself. It's a life skill. So not just for school, but also for outside of school. What are their extracurricular activities? What are things that they need to do that they need to prioritize? And what goals can they set and how can they get there? These are all ways of mentally organizing these tasks and also organizing themselves. So I hope these are effective and helpful for you. Give me or write, DM me and let me know how they go. Comment in the section, and I look forward to hearing how it goes for you guys. Hope you have a good day. Bye.